Nookie.
The what?
The Nookie? Never heard that one?
The Nookie?
Mm-hmm. He's talking about being a simp. He was. If you listen to the lyrics, like his girl cheated on him and stuff, and he still goes back to her. And they ask him why. He's like, I did it all for the Nookie. Three, two, one.
Welcome back
Hey.
to another episode of Mofos with a long podcast.
Mm-hmm. We've been living up to our name the last couple episodes.
Oh yeah, dude.
These have been long.
Real long.
Hey, we got a lot to talk about, man.
Yeah, we do.
And the one we're talking about today is Run Lola Run.
Yeah.
And
Lola Rent.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have a good German accent.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to talk shit. Let me just stop. But have you ever heard of this movie before I recommended it?
I had heard of it. I had seen it. I did not realize it was a German film.
Oh, you've seen it before?
Well, like I'd seen previews.
Oh, okay.
I hadn't seen the This is my first time actually watching it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had seen stuff for it before.
Okay. Yeah, same. Remember that thing, the first episode I mentioned how I used to like sneak into my friend's film class. Yeah, so this was one of the movies they had in the film class. But for some reason I couldn't make it there that day. So I've always been interested though. Like it seems very unique, at least the time, and it seemed like I like because it's like the 90s indie type movie.
Yeah,
and
very much so.
It made me just want to see it from there. I was like, okay, I mean, I might as well watch it now. So
The vibe was very 90s.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
It was just like the electronic music. And
Just the aesthetic, everything, you know.
Everything.
Like, I don't know if you got this feeling, but for me, I felt nostalgia just watching this stuff. Like,
Yeah, a little
the
bit.
90s, yeah.
A little bit.
It kind of reminded me of the Rude Sandstorm music video.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just kind of looks that
Just
era.
running the whole time.
Yeah, that era. So without really knowing about the movie too much, like what did you expect going in?
A lot of running.
Yeah, they didn't lie, man.
She ran like the whole movie. Bro, at the end, she's like, Did you run here? I was like, that's what she been doing this whole movie. She ain't been doing nothing but running.
I was watching this with my girl as she was singing that song. She a runner, she a track star or something like that. some popular song, but yeah, they definitely didn't lie. I didn't really know what to expect too, besides it being like 90s and indie and. Yeah, that's all I really expected. But other than that, it was just kind of go along for the ride. And so I guess going to the beginning and how they introduced the characters and the first the scene, the setting of the movie and everything. How do you feel about that? Like,
so the intro. Kind of sets things up, and it kind of sets the tone for what kind of movie it was going to be.
Yes.
But for some reason, I still didn't initially understand off the bat, like, this is what type of movie it's going to be.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good. Because, like, I like the way they set it up. At the very beginning,
like the phone call?
Well,
or the cartoon?
Well, at the very beginning, they're talking about like man is
one
of like the strangest creatures and stuff like that. Like how do we know what we think we know and all this like kind of mystical stuff. Like one question poses an answer that leads to another question that leads to another answer, and like it just keeps going. Something about like, but it's always the same question, it's always the same answer, something like that. And then I like the setup that they did with the we see later he's a guard. Yeah. But yeah, he says like basically the way I interpreted it is that like he likens life to the game of football
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
Soccer for us
Yeah.
Americans.
Mm-hmm.
That it's the rules are simple. There's a ball.
Yes.
There's 90 minutes. And within those simple rules, so many different things can happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then that just kind of sets the tone for the rest of the movie. Like the first, I'd say 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot about that tone that they had set up.
Yeah.
And so like when things were happening, I was taking it more at like just exactly what is shown.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then around, because the 30-minute mark is the end of the first
the first
portion. I don't want to give away too much right now, but and then I was like, oh, I see what's happening, and then I called it because I was watching it with Darby, and I was like, watch, this is what's gonna happen.
Oh, okay.
And then
it happened.
And then it happened. Yeah.
Oh man, you got way more than I did. From the intro, I just kind of took it as some like, all right, some
mystical jargon.
some mystical, yeah. And we see where we go from there. But I think the reason for me, I definitely forgot, one, I kind of have a short attention span, but two is because so much was happening between that just caught my eye from the introduction. So it's easy to like kind of forget, but it, like you said, it set it up well that it still makes sense within the story with the stuff they're doing. But I like how they introduced the two main characters that we see, mostly Manny and Lola. And from the short intro, like we see them talking on the phone, the way it's shot, it reminded me of like, you could tell this is definitely a post Quentin Tarantino era film. Like, but even though it's a European film and they kind of do things differently, but it's like so many things happening. And they're setting it up with a conversation, and it's just like they're doing little tricks that I think a lot of like bigger movies won't do, that an indie movie can do and take liberties with.
You wanna give an example?
So just like the way it's shot,
Okay.
Like it's like hyper real. It's like a hyper world, because there's some random when she's talking to him, Manny, and Manny's explaining what's happening. They call it black and white, and you see the stuff that happened with like the deal, and that turns to black and whites and stuff like that, and they're like splicing the shots and everything, and I just thought that was so cool because it already has like this momentum picking up, and they're just talking on the phone, and that's another thing I'll say. This movie has a lot of style.
There's a lot of style to it. One of the things right off the bat my girl asked is like, were they trying to copy Mila Jovovich's look?
Oh yeah,
from The Sixth Sense.
The Sixth Sense or The Fifth Element?
The Fifth Element.
Okay.
That's what. You know what I meant.
Yeah, I know you meant.
There's numbers. It was 5,
yeah,
6.
I know. 5, 6.
I just needed to subtract one.
Yeah. Just keep going back. Start off with the one with Jet Li.
Hey, that was actually not a bad movie.
Yeah, it was a fun movie. But I think this actually came out before that movie.
Really?
Yeah. I think it came out in 98 in Germany and maybe in 99 in America.
Okay.
And I think Fifth Element came out in 99. And the thing, actually, it's funny you bring that up because as I was watching this movie, another person I got the feeling of too, I'm gonna forget his name. He's Luc Besson. I think Luc Besson, that's his name. And he produces. He did. I don't know if you heard of that movie, Leon the Assassin, The Professional.
I've heard of it. I've seen some things about it, but I haven't actually sat down and watched it. I've heard it's a really good one though.
Oh yeah, it is. It kind of has the same tone as his movies as well. And I'll say it actually has more Luc Besson tone than the Quentin Tarantino tone. And Luc Besson also did The Fifth Element.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he either produced or directed The Fifth Element, but yeah. So maybe it's weird. This might have been inspired by Luc Besson movies, and maybe Luc Besson was kind of inspired by her look, because you're right, they look very similar.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about like the introduction of the story and the style, the shots?
I like it. Like, it was pretty straightforward at the beginning, because like we get the call and he's like flustered.
Yeah.
And he's like, where have you been? And then, so we get it pieced together in like flashback format that for whatever, he had diamonds that he was supposed to sell for some people.
Yeah.
That were worth $100,000. He was supposed to take the $100,000 to those people, and it was kind of supposed to be a test, to see if like he was kind of trustworthy to be in the in whatever ring they're in.
Yeah, the syndicate that they're in.
Yeah, but things went awry when she was supposed to be with the moped, and then
I think moped got stolen.
Yeah,
got stolen, right?
Yeah, when she went to go get some cigarettes.
Yeah.
And then, so she wasn't there to make the drop, to pick him up from the drop. And then, so he got on the subway, and then, the police showed up. And so out of instinct, he dipped, but he dipped without the bag of money.
Yeah.
And the homeless guy took it. And so he's freaking out because he has like 20 minutes to get the $100,000 to the syndicate.
Yeah,
and he has nothing.
Yeah, that's a scary proposition. That's a scary feeling to have. I mean, just a scary situation to be in. And that's that's something I feel like that's a Quentin Tarantino thing, like a red herring, the bag. You know how like Pulp Fiction, it was like the box of it was like the briefcase. Yeah, it's kind of like Quentin Tarantino plays with stuff like that. And and I really like, even though it kind of set the tone of, okay, this is about to be a wild ride, because before she starts like running, you see like shots of people she knows, like she's thinking of ideas and stuff, right? In that shot.
Just
before she goes running, she's thinking about how to get the money, right?
Oh yeah,
she's like different shots.
She's going through like she's
thinking of people.
Thinking of people who she can get the money from, and then so she goes through like a whole cycle, and then lands on her dad, which is because he works at the bank.
Yeah, works at the bank.
Like, he works at the bank. He can get me the money. But yeah, and so one of the shots, and it comes back to it later, but when she throws up the phone, and then she like high pitched scream.
Yeah, that's some weird. That
and then like breaks the
that glass.
Yeah. And then so I think the phone sets down on the ringer when she's like made the decision, and then like she knows exactly what she's about to go do, and then she starts taking off.
Starts running. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I kind of like how it turns into a cartoon.
Oh,
as she's running. It reminded me of like the MTV days, It's badly animated, but it's still fun.
Yeah, I mean, like it's a cute little animation. Like you said, it's like it's not gonna be in a museum anymore.
Yeah,
it's not drawn like that, but it's a good cartoony feel. One other piece of I don't know if it's important to the story necessarily, but just I thought was an important piece of information is that we see that her mom is having an affair.
Oh, that's her mom. Okay. Okay, yeah. All right.
She says like, "Oh, well, you're married too."
Yeah, you're married too.
Or she's like in the midst of like, about to be having an affair at least.
I guess that also plays into the whole father thing too. That comes later. I didn't even think about that. I thought it's weird because I guess sometimes when you're just so focused on stuff, I need to start paying more attention to movies sometimes because I miss little tidbits like that. I thought I was like a random neighbor or something like that. So I didn't know she still lived with her mom.
Yeah, she still lived with her parents.
Yeah, okay.
But then so she starts taking off running, and then
from there, she goes. I guess again, even though these people you don't see them in person, but you see them animated, the dog and the owner. In the cartoon, that you kind of have like different things that they do with each ones, but we'll talk about that later. Yeah, then she runs to the streets and she just kind of, beelines to go to her dad. And in between that, she runs into that woman with the baby. And I really like how, I didn't even expect that, after a woman calls her a fucking bitch. And it just kind of shows like pictures of what happens afterwards, after interacting with Lola.
Yeah, and like in her life.
Yeah, in her life.
Like she gets her kid taken away. And then she goes and steals it back.
Yeah, steals the baby. And it's weird. I didn't expect that. And I really I still liked it because it's like, it was unique, And you want to add anything?
Oh no, yeah. Like I thought it was pretty cool too, because it's like, it's not necessarily information that's vital to the story, but I think it becomes more of like something that, like as we go through the movie, we revisit it.
Yeah.
And it it goes to make a point later on. And so the information itself, not necessarily like it's not important that we know that, you know, she got her kid taken away and then goes back and steals her kid back. The information itself is just kind of whatever. You can throw it out, but the fact that they do it goes to a bigger point later on.
It fits into the theme of the movie, the overall thing.
Yeah.
Then she runs past the yellow train. Is there anything? Then I thought this was funny too. She runs past the guy who's like pulling out the garage that crashes into the other car. Yeah, and you see those three buff ass dudes.
Oh yeah, they like get out the car.
Yeah, they get out the car. When I saw those guys, I was like, they look like they're about to go to some like German club and just get down. Did she meet the guy on a bike after that, or somewhere in a way she meets the guy on the bicycle?
I don't remember exactly. I think she sees the guy on the bike after the nuns.
Oh yeah, after the nuns. Yes, yeah, the nuns. Then she.
Yeah, because when I saw the nuns, I was like, Nun Lola.
Oh what?
Nun Lola Nun.
Oh. You're goofy as hell, man. She don't want none of it.
Oh my god.
But yeah, she runs past the nuns. I don't think there was we don't get like a storyline with them, right?
I don't know. We don't get too much with the nuns.
There's a point I wanted to add on, but I think I'll talk about that after we kind of establish what happens in this this thing. But you'll get it. But then she meets. I guess she sees the guy. She sees the guy on the bike. We also get his story, or like after his.
Yeah, he gets like beat up in the alleyway with his
bicycle, and he meets like the love of his life. Damn. And she runs past the hobo too, right, with the bag in that first run, or
I didn't notice in the first one. I noticed. Oh well, dang.
Oh no, that's fine. I mean, we're
gonna get there anyway. Yeah. So in the first loop, I didn't notice it. The second loop, I did.
Yeah.
And then it made me question: was he there in the first loop?
Okay. See, that's weird because I don't remember. I don't know if I saw him in the first loop, but I definitely saw him in the second loop for sure. But yeah, then we go. I guess she gets to the bank, and I don't know if I missed anything before hand there. But she gets to the bank, and we see the guard that you're mentioning, and there's something interesting with that guard too. I guess we could talk about later. Yeah, from there she goes to go. I guess she bumps into somebody, and we get to see that person's future before, and we see that her father, who works for the bank, is also committing adultery. And how do you feel about all these going on until then? Like, what was your take? Like, you're just kind of along for the ride.
Yeah, I was just kind of like sitting, letting it do its thing. I thought, like you said, I thought it was really interesting, like kind of like showing the future through like snapshot pictures.
Yeah.
For certain characters along the way. I thought that was really interesting, and up until like that 30-minute mark, I was wondering like what was the point of that?
Yeah.
What was the point of showing us the snapshots? But yeah, so yeah, I was just kind of like along for the ride. And then I guess we get to, because one of the things that he says before he hangs up is he's like, look, I see the store across there.
Yeah.
They make $200,000 a day. So by noon, they should have 100,000. He's like, that's what I need. So if you don't get here by noon, I'm robbing the store.
Yeah.
And so she back to where we're at in the story. She runs to the bank. Yeah, we see that he has been having an affair with the board of directors. Yeah. So he's sleeping up.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Never sleep down. Always sleep up. Yeah. So but she says she's pregnant.
Yes. Yeah.
And she's like, you need to make a decision right now. If you love me, if you want to be with me right now, because I'm pregnant. And then he's like, oh, so we learn later on that things are not exactly as they seem.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that happens, and then
Lola interrupts them.
Yeah, Lola interrupts.
And yeah, she starts demanding the money. And I guess from there, you kind of see the relationship that her and her father have. And I thought, you see, I feel like movies like this they do a good job of establishing relationship in a short time that makes it seem like it gives it backstory without having to show the whole backstory, you know? It shows that he's not really there in her life because he doesn't even know that she has a boyfriend, you know, for a year now. And it shows like he's kind of disconnected, and you know, we see that he's also, you know, he's cheating and stuff like that. So it just establishes a background and a backstory with that family in just a conversation. Yeah, and so it's a realistic conversation, not like, hey, you know, like, you've been my daughter for 18 years, you know, that type of shit. Yeah, you know, he just talks to her, and then she does that yell. I mean, she explains about Manny and why she needs the money, and she does the yell that fucking cracks the clock, and that forces the board of director to come back and like, what the fuck's going on here? But you want to touch on anything in that scene?
Yeah, well, the scene itself, I guess, just kind of goes to highlight another thing because, the other loops, because there are differences in the loops. Is the first one where he's like, where he lets her know.
Yeah. The first one is like, he's escorting her out because he's annoyed, and he's explaining how he feels about her, about their family, about how he's about to leave them and stuff. That's the first one.
Okay. Yeah. So then. Oh, well,
no, go.
Oh yeah. So he starts escorting her out of there, and then he's basically telling her like you're not even my daughter.
Yeah, we get that too.
Which is kind of like she's already stressed about the money situation, and then to like have it laid on like you're not even mine.
Yeah,
like,
that's fucked up.
Your real dad died before you were born, or whatever. And I was like, dang,
that's a bad time to reveal all that, man.
Yeah. I liked it's a small thing, but like right before she goes to see her dad, like the guard, and he does it every time. He does like the tuck, tuck, tuck.
Oh yeah, the like the sound. Yeah.
He like makes his own sound while he's pushing the number in. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, it's like little things that, and like I said, that guy, we'll talk about it more, but like there's something peculiar about that guy. Because he's kind of creepy, the way he talks to her. Kind of.
I think he knows her.
Yeah.
And like he's just known her since she was a kid, I think.
Most likely.
And so, the way I interpreted it, I will get to it later because there's in the other loops there's
hints.
There's an idea that I have, but I'll bring it up later.
Okay. So yeah, after that she kind of runs again, and she sees the ambulance and the people with the glass across the streets and all that stuff. And I guess she failed. Manny, what's her name? Lola took too long in that loop, and he gets out after being frustrated to go rob the store. And he interacts with that blind woman beforehand. That was also kind of peculiar. But then he just goes, and Lola gets there, and I thought this was funny. Like, Lola stops to yell Manny. In my mind's like, motherfucker, just keep running and yell Manny, you know? But, so she fails to get there in time, and he's already robbing the store. Doing a very bad job of it, you know? You can see his face. Just, you know, he's super desperate. Yeah, he's just trying to get money. And I just kind of thought it was dumb because it's like you put yourself in another hole to dig yourself out of this hole. Because like even if he gets away with it, everybody know what you look like.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And I like the shot too before that because it shows like Manny waiting for Lola's running, and it shows the time. And I thought that was really cool shots, and there's a lot of stylistic stuff that this movie does. I thought like this is really unique. This is cool.
Were you? I know this has been a pet peeve of yours throughout other movies. Were you pissed off about how much slow mo there was?
Oh yeah, it's not too much because the movie moves really fast at some points. Yeah, that slow-mo Maya tree help. It wasn't too bad in this one. Also, it's a short movie too. Yeah, it wasn't too distracting. It didn't take me out too much. How do you feel about the movie up to that point? Like, well, still just going along with the ride and everything.
Yeah, well, so up until that point, like I was like, I saw her on the outside, and then I was like, if she's a real one, she's about to go rob that place.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And she proves you right, man.
And she is a real one. She goes in and knocks out the security guard that comes up with the gun.
The rent-a-cop.
Oh yeah. It takes his gun, and then
man, yeah, go on. Sorry.
And then so that's when he lets her know. It's like, hey, there's a catch safety on the slide. You gotta lift that up, and she's like, oh, okay. And then so now she knows how to lift up the slide, and she accidentally shoots
at the ground. That was terrifying.
Yeah. And then so
they get the money.
Yeah, they get the money. And then they leave the store.
Yes.
And
they got a 5-star.
Yeah,
GTA.
they got the whole policia. Or how do you say it in German? Police. I don't know.
We just lost all our German fans.
If we didn't get canceled before, we get canceled now. No, so they're running deep out there, bro.
Yeah, that's true. They
got the whole line up, they're ready to,
they're ready.
Take them out. And so homie throws the bag, and then one of them gets startled by the bag being thrown, and then shoots Lola straight in the chest.
Yeah.
And
did you? So what was your thought when you saw her get shot? Like, were you like, what the fuck? Or
I was like, it's not called Run Manny Run. Yeah. I was like, we're only about 30 minutes in at this point. Like, there's something going on. There's about to be some device.
So you were expecting a device?
Yeah. Okay. And then I was like, it starts over. I was like, either she rewinds or it starts over.
Oh, okay.
And so at that point I kind of knew. Okay. And then so it zooms into her eye, and then we see a conversation that they've had before.
A very intimate conversation.
Yeah. Where she's kind of asking those
dumb questions.
I know if you're in a relationship, someone has asked those
big questions.
Questions of the relationship. They're like, would you still love it? Like,
I already answered you, motherfucker.
Would you still love me if I was a dragonfly? I saw one that was like, it was this couple. He's like, would you? She was asking, would you love me if I was never born? And he was like, how the? Or no, would you be with someone else if I wasn't born? And he's like, yeah, probably. She's like, what? He's like, if you were never born, I never know you, I never meet you.
Nah, that's just arguments.
That, get you into trouble because you want to know the answers to dumbass questions.
I was rolling my eyes throughout that whole scene. But it kind of explains more about their relationship. But throughout that whole scene, have you ever seen Mad Max, the new one? With
no.
Tom Hardy? I've
never seen either of them.
Oh, you haven't seen any of them?
No,
that's something I want to do in the future. But there's a scene that he's trying to get baited, and he just pointed like, that's bait. Every question he kept asking is like, that's bait, just for some dumbass shit to happen. I guess we both had the same reaction. I was very annoyed at that scene.
Yeah,
but it's so realistic.
It felt real to me because I was like, bro, I've been there. I've been laying in bed with somebody that's just like, would you still love me? Shut the hell up.
It's like, no, we're going to a tangent, but it's like, you already answered the question. Now they're like building a more of a deeper hole for you to try to get into. No, I already answered the question. But I feel like those questions she was asking is maybe she was worried about the relationship. And I mean, she even reveals that she's thinking about leaving Manny. And I guess it explains more. I wonder, is it because Manny's kind of a dumbass? Manny's kind of an idiot.
Manny can be really dumb at some points. Yeah, he really can.
Maybe he's impulsive.
Yeah, he's definitely not the brightest.
So from there, you're like, okay, after this, you think they were going to rewind or okay.
And then she's like, because the last thing that she remembers is like he's like, "Do you want to leave me?" And
Yeah.
then she's like, "I don't know."
Mm-hmm.
And then like it goes back to like her bleeding
Yes.
on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, "But I don't want to leave." And then like it all
Yeah, it goes back.
it goes from the bag is still in the air flying, and then it keeps cutting back to like the shot of the phone
Yeah.
flying.
Oh, okay.
And
the
then
bag.
yeah, and then hits the receiver again.
Okay.
It starts over from that point.
Mm-hmm. So that does that go back to what you're saying, that every time she makes a decision, the phone slams down? It's
Well,
like,
yeah. So well, there's because it doesn't.
oh, important decision.
Well, oh no, I was just saying like the.
Oh,
like
the shot.
That shot.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
I see.
Of
Okay.
just it going to the from the bag flying to the phone flying, and we kind of see that back and forth, and then it kind of lands on the receiver, and we know that things have started over. If you weren't ready for it, it might have taken you aback when you first saw it, but like everything that was being set up was always like, this is exactly how it's gonna go.
Okay, so you felt satisfied when. Well, did you feel like it was predictable, or you thought it made sense?
It was predictable enough that I caught it before it happened, but it wasn't dissatisfying.
Okay, yeah.
That it was, because there's a lot of movies that are so predictable that you're just like, man, why am I?
Yeah,
like, even watching this.
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, that's true.
I can tell you like what happens.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But no, I think like this one was predictable, but in a way that I wasn't like angry that I guessed it right away. And then I was, there's still so much. Because at that point, when she dies the first time, like we still got like 30 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I was like, well, it's an 80-minute movie. Like,
yeah,
I'm
like,
interested to see, where they take it from here. And so the second loop around starts.
Yeah. See, that's another thing. Like that's what I was thinking about Quentin Tarantino, because Quentin Tarantino at that time was doing that, not playing around with non-linear storytelling, which I think maybe there were like movies that did stuff like that, but I guess he kind of made it popular in the 90s that people started kind of doing that too. So I was like, oh, that kind of reminds me of some stuff Quentin Tarantino would do, And this is what I was alluding to earlier. I think you'll get the point. The moment it did that, I was like, oh, she just respawned, like it's a video game, and she was running. I was like, this movie is literally a speed run. Literally a speed run.
Oh man!
You think about that throughout the whole movie. I was like, oh, it's somebody doing a speed run, but this time they know what to do.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was gonna get to is that later on, well, we'll get there when we get there. So because we see. We see it start over again. We see her run past her mom. Yeah. And then it goes to the cartoon on the screen. Or no, actually, I don't think it goes to the cartoon this time.
It does, because something changes in the cartoon. I think the guy trips her.
Oh, right. Yeah. And then it cuts to real life.
Yeah, it cuts to real life of her.
And then she falls down the stairs.
She falls down. Yeah. So she's already... the speed run failed already. Yeah. Because of that asshole.
Yeah. Because that's the big thing, is she's always got 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes. Yeah, with each loop. And now she's handicapped. And so we start getting hints like, okay, there's definitely some changes. And I think the first hint that we get is she runs past that woman again with the baby. And this time she has a different feature.
Where like she wins the lotto. Yeah. She gets... like her and her husband move into like a big place. She's like a millionaire. And I was like, dang.
Is that
like,
the second one or third one?
That's the second one.
Okay, that's the second one. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because the third one, I was... Well, we'll get there.
Okay.
But yeah, so the second one, I was like, dang, man, she upgraded her future, bro. Like, I was like, dang. Yeah. she's about to be living the good life. But then, so she runs past her.
Yeah, that's like the first change we kind of get.
Runs past the Run Lola Run.
Oh, yeah, Run Lola Run. And she goes between them again, right?
I think this go around she goes between them. And
then she goes by the guy with the bike, but this time she says it's stolen. Yeah, she referenced that stolen. And we get to see his future. And I think is this
This
feature?
this is the one where he ends up with the girl, I think, or no?
No, this is the one he ends up like being an alcoholic and he
Oh
goes
yeah,
to,
he
gets the drugs and
ODs.
ODs. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called Dark. That's
That was really dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the first one he gets beat up.
yeah, and meets like the love.
No. That's the third one. The third loop is where he ends up with the love of his life.
Not what was the first one then?
The first one he gets beat up and killed in the alleyway over the bike or something like that.
Oh, I thought that he gets beat up, then he meets the woman who fixes him, then they get married.
Oh, is that what happens in the first one?
Yeah, then the second one is the real dark one. I don't think we get a third one.
Oh, we might not get a third one.
Yeah, I don't think we get a third one. Yeah.
I forget.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if, I might be wrong too, so you correct me in the comments.
Yeah.
But so we see that she has knowledge now of her last run.
I don't think we see that until
Maybe talking to her dad.
yeah, I think at the bank.
At the bank?
Is
Okay.
when we get the. I mean, unless you want to count the bike thing,
Like being stolen?
because I mean, how does she know that the bike is stolen?
Yeah, that is true.
I think it was just something that she shouted because, like, oh yeah, like,
Yeah,
you
that's
guys told
true,
me a
that's
bike, it's stolen.
Yeah.
Or that's the way I interpreted it. But then, so yeah, she gets to the bank, and then this time around, they
reveal more about the father's.
yeah. Then he learns that the lady that she's having an affair with.
Yeah.
She is pregnant, but it's not necessarily his kid.
Yeah, which is fucked, man.
Yeah.
That's a weird.
So it's like he's having an affair, and then she already got pregnant by somebody else.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Wow, what a great way to start, our new relationship or whatever."
There's a lot of affairs going on there.
Yeah, and then so she's getting let out of the place, but then she grabs the guard's gun, and then starts demanding the money from there.
Yeah.
She's like, I can get it from here. And then they're like, oh, you don't even know how to use that thing. And then she like clicks the slide thing,
Yeah.
which is my first indication that, okay, so the knowledge from one loop
Yeah.
can carry over to the next one.
Yes.
And I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's unique.
Because you would think like that it wouldn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's pretty crazy. And then so then she starts like having them count out the money or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we get to the part where the dude's like, oh, there's only 88,000 here. I need to go downstairs real quick.
Yeah.
And he goes and it comes back, and the dad had like said something about what's it called, like, oh yeah, like the cops will be surrounding the place, and he's like, she tells me like, you always say they never get here in time or whatever, so she thinks she's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And then
Which is funny that comes up
yeah,
later on.
because she comes out of the place, and the police are like right there surrounding the building. But like, I think this is one of those like rare moments where like sexism works in her favor.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Because like
those goofballs, man.
they see her coming out, and they're just like, "You want to get killed?"
Yeah.
There's like an active shooter in there.
Yeah. You fucking spear ass off screen.
Which like she tossed the gun, which is like. At first, I was like, "Why would you toss the gun?"
Yeah,
but like it worked out perfectly. It was like the perfect thing
time.
to do. Because they were like, "There's an active shooter there. You want to get?"
Yeah, I want to get shot. Yeah.
And so like she runs off, and then she sees the lady that she saw outside the bank the first time. She's like, "Do you have the time?"
Oh yeah. Oh, that's something I was going to talk about that before. So I don't know. Was that an error on your part, or was it intentional? Because from one shot, it shows her coming out the bank, and you see a woman, and she looks really young, and it's in slow-mo. Then, when she talks to her, it's an old woman.
Well, I think she talks to her the first time.
But it's like, but in the shot, introducing that before they introduced that woman, she was young. Then, when they start talking, she was old. So I don't know if they were playing with like a bunch of time just passed, or is it like a mistake, or I'm just looking too much into it. Maybe it's just a woman crossing. Who knows?
I don't know. I don't think it's the same woman, or that they implied it to be the same woman.
Okay, maybe it's just me looking too deep into it.
It might have just been a
like an error,
like a continuity.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It might,
but yeah, because she talks to her the first time, which I guess we forgot to mention.
Oh yeah. She tells her at the time.
Yeah, because she's like, "Oh, you look like you're having a bad day" or something like
that.
Yeah,
you know the half of it.
you have no idea.
Yeah,
but then so the second time around, she's like, as she's running past, she's like, "Do you know the time?" or whatever, and so.
I thought it was weird because she wasn't even there to get the time.
What happened the second time around?
I think the woman tells her as she's running. Or was that the third?
Oh, right. So so she gets there, and she has the money. She has the 100,000.
Yeah.
And like she gets there in time to tell him not to rob the place.
Oh yeah.
And they start running at each other. It looks like everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And then there goes that fucking ambulance.
Yeah, the ambulance. It's the same driver from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Just out here murking people. So that part I saw coming, and it's mostly because of the shots. Yeah, and I was like, okay, something has to happen here.
Yeah.
You know? I thought either she would get shot again, or get hit by a truck. He was going to get hit by a car. I was like, with the way the camera is set and everything, he's going to get hit by a car. But it's not like a complaint. It's just the way, sometimes the way movies are shot, you can kind of see something coming.
Yeah, like you've seen this set up a couple times before. Like, it's just,
it's usually like with wide shots or close-up shots, too.
Yeah, and you're like, this is the get hit by a car shot.
Yeah.
Like, you see it coming, but it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't take away from the movie.
Yeah.
And now we get to see his intimate, conversation with her.
Where he's like, what would you do if I died? Or some type of stuff. And she's like, well, you haven't died. So like, or no, wait. So she's like, oh, I gotta stand up for a second.
Oh, okay, it's okay.
Oh, no, just my butt's hurting. But yeah, so then, she's kind of like that. Well, that's a dumb question or whatever. Kind of the same way that
also baiting questions. Yeah. So we don't just talk shit about the women's side. We talk about guys too.
Yeah. And then everybody's equally capable of asking dumb questions, these baiting questions in a conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
So we get to see his worry.
Yeah, we get to see his worry. Yeah, like that when he dies, she's gonna
like move on.
Yeah, mourn for a couple weeks and then move on to the way he says it, like you'll hop into somebody else's lap and forget all about me or something like that. And then she's like, but you haven't died yet.
Yeah.
And then like he's laying on the ground like I haven't.
And yeah, I guess those conversations kind of reveal, like we said earlier, about their relationship. But I guess it also shows their worry and their fears. And I guess for Manny, it's just, I guess, her moving on. And for Lola, we see that he might not love her. So, or maybe wants to be loved.
I think, no, he definitely loves her.
Oh, yeah. No, but I'm saying her worry.
Oh, her worry is that he doesn't love her. Or how does he know that he loves her?
Yeah.
Because I think, I guess she's looking to see like, well, how fickle is your love for me, or type thing.
So it's like they're questioning their love for each other, or how much they both really care about each other.
Yeah.
And I thought that did a good job too of just kind of laying, even though we get more of a scene, it's not that long, but give them like a backstory of like maybe their relationship isn't as tight recently,
right,
and it shows there's some trouble there within the relationship. And it's also, it gives the movie a chance to slow down too, and before everything's reset.
Because it is a very fast-paced movie.
And I like the shot too before they respawn again, before the last loop, because it has like a shot of is that the shot of him looking in the sky with the plane?
Oh yeah.
I thought that was a really cool shot.
Oh yeah, because I guess she tosses up the bag.
Yeah, and the bag and the plane.
Yeah,
I thought it was a really cool shot.
And then goes back to the phone.
It goes back to the phone
again. For the the third and final loop.
Yeah. So at this time, how did you feel about the mechanism about the whole?
I mean, like, so we've already been introduced to the idea. We know exactly what's going on, and so I took it as like, okay, this is, you know, I looked at the time mark on the movie. I can't remember exactly, you know, at what point it looped again, but I was
the
like,
last 20 minutes or
yeah, I was like, really?
Oh no, not exact.
Oh, okay.
No.
I was gonna say if it was exactly 20 minutes, that would have been amazing.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Because I mean, that's the time mark that she's had the whole time. Is like, you know, 20 minutes. But yeah, so I'm like, we don't have that much of the movie left. You know, so you got to get it right this time.
Yeah, sure.
And so then we see her go down the stairs, but then this time she like jumps over.
Yeah. And barks
then
at the dog.
Barks at I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. That's this exactly the point. So I think like, yes, it's a speed run because now you know what to do. You know.
Yeah. But then so she heads down the stairs, and then this time we see that
the guy in the garage.
Yeah.
Like he's pulling off.
He is actually the what is his title? But he's basically like the head of the bank, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and he like knows who Lola is. He's like, Lola.
Yeah.
Because as opposed to like, you know, jumping over the car, she like slams on it. And
I think it also does a good point of showing why in the first two loop. I guess I didn't really touch on this, but like the reason he got into a crash because he was distracted. But it seemed like he recognized the person. It seemed like maybe that's why he was distracted. Like, oh, I think that's who I think it is, but you know, I can't confirm.
Yeah.
But with this, it cements like, oh, I know this person. And with that, he avoids getting into a crash with the big ass German dudes. Yeah. And so she keeps running, and she bumps into the hobo again with the money, right? This time.
Well, so this time he's not there.
Oh, okay.
Because when she runs around the nuns and then
she avoids them.
She's talking to the dude with the bike, and then he
kind of diverts.
He diverts. Yeah, she doesn't even talk to him this time.
Yeah.
And he goes to the noodle shop where the hobo, or no, it's not a noodle shop. I think of like a Japanese.
Yeah, it's like a sauce. It's like a.
It has the same kind of vibe.
Yeah, it's like a street food place.
Yeah. So like a street food. Yeah, and I guess you can order drinks there too. Yeah. He's talking about having a drink. And then he sees the hobo there. He's got the money, and he's like, I'll buy you a drink or whatever. He's like, you want to buy my bike? It's a special price, $70, which is, you know, he's been offering $50 for it the whole time. And he's like, it's special price right now, $70. So I'm like, yeah, special because you jacked it up to $20. You know what I mean?
And I think this time we don't get to see the guy in the bike, his future. And I wonder if the hobo knew something was going on too, because he's like amazed, like this is a very weird day, or like he was just like amazed about the meeting up. I was like, why is he amazed by just meeting up with this guy? You know, but maybe he's also amazed because he just got that much money. You know, one random day. So maybe that's it. Then we see that he buys the fucking bike.
Yeah, he buys the bike. He's riding on the bike. And then I guess we go see,
and we see that a major change in this story because of the guy in the garage. I guess is the head of the bank. He calls her father. I mean Lola's dad, and that changes things because now Lola's dad's not even in the bank.
Yeah.
And sorry, go on.
Oh yeah. So they hop in the car, and then so she's kind of like left at the bank. Like now I can't even ask my dad. And then the guard comes out.
Yeah.
And then they kind of like stare at each other.
Yeah. So that's.
And I think that was another thing for me that kind of like the knowledge transferred over.
Okay. Yeah.
And they're like, he's kind of remembering. He's like. Yeah.
So that's exactly the same point I was going to talk about too, with him being peculiar and weird. Was more so like, does he also have knowledge transfer to, you know?
I think he does.
Yeah. Since also he's the one who introduced this whole like mechanism of this movie too.
Yeah, at the very beginning, with the soccer ball thing.
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting, just to show like in that one scene to show, okay, he kind of knows what's happening, and yeah, it was interesting. It was definitely interesting. And how do you take that?
Because I think I don't know if Darby understood it right away, but I kind of was like, oh,
Maybe I don't.
he's remembering.
Oh, okay, I see. Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I was like, he remembers the whole like bank robbery thing.
Yeah.
And you know, if you didn't put those two together, then like that scene could look really weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, if like once that clicks for you, then it's like, oh, you know, like they're having this moment where he remembers, you know, like her grabbing his gun and holding everyone at gunpoint. But like, you know, thankfully this isn't that run through anymore.
Yeah, run through.
But yeah, I don't know, how did you feel?
Yeah, so I just like you, I noticed like, okay, that was a weird look. I think he also has the ability to remember things too. And I was just, at this point, I still don't know how to take the movie, which we'll talk about later on, like with these kind of supernatural elements going on. So I was like, is there a deeper meaning to these things? Or because of what they're introducing in the beginning, we'll just kind of take it as, you know, the mechanism that happens in this specific universe, or just a story. So I didn't, I want to take much into it, but like the movie doesn't give you time. You know, it just she just goes to running again.
Yeah, she goes to running, and then she almost gets hit by the 18-wheeler.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to die? And then like that, because she's asking God for help, I think, while she's like running, and she's like, "Please just help me out this one time." And then like she almost gets hit by the truck, but then she ends up right in front of a casino.
Yeah.
And yeah,
that was a wild scene.
That was pretty wild.
That was like almost surreal. What happened in that whole scene? From, you know, you want to say something?
Oh no, I was just saying, like, to me, I don't know, it's very eerie, because like I don't know if you've ever experienced it, like you have been on like one life path or whatever, and then something happened that just like veers you off course, but then like you go down that new course, and it seems like, oh, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
So it's like that needed to happen for this to happen. And it's like, it's really weird when you think about it. And it's like, I think this was like a, you know,
divine interventions and stuff like that.
Yeah, like it almost seems, I mean, if you believe in that kind of thing, I believe there's something, because I've personally had and seen this happen for other people.
Yeah.
Like these moments where it's just like, okay, you need to be on this path, but you're over here. There's some kind of diversion that happens that sets you back on the path that you're supposed to be on. And you know, it was cool to see it in a movie form. And then it was just kind of like, oh yeah, of course it's gonna be, well, I didn't know it was gonna be a casino, but it's like, of course, like she's gone right to the way she's gonna get the money.
Yeah, to get that money. And that whole scene was just, it was wild. The fact that she was able to get in, and she's playing the game, and she needs that number. Yeah. And she does that fucking banshee yell and shit. I was like, what the fuck is this movie?
The first time she like, because like, one, she doesn't have, she's like, you can't go in like that. She's like, but I need to. Yeah. And she's like, all right, cool, whatever. And then she's like, the lowest we have is $100 tokens. And she's like, I have 99. And she's like, you're one short then. And she's like, please just let me in. Yeah. And she's like, okay. And then so like she gives her, I guess, spots her the $1. Yeah. And then she goes and puts it on the 20. And she wins by chance on the first one. And she wins like what, like 3,300 or something like that.
Yeah. I forgot the exact amount, but I wonder, is it because she won that much that they were trying to kick her out?
I think they were trying to kick her out because of the way she looks. Because it was a very like upscale. Everyone's like dressed to the nines and stuff like that. And yeah, I think the guy was like basically like, you don't belong here. I'm about to kick you out. You shouldn't have even been let in here. Yeah. Okay. Looking raggedy. Like you did. And so yeah, after she wins the 3,300, the guy's like, okay, you need to leave. And she's like, just one more game, one more game. And he's like, all right. Yeah. Because I think if he was suspecting her of cheating, then they wouldn't have let her play one more game. I think.
It's also, I've just heard of stories. I don't know if this is real or not, but I've heard of stories like if somebody wins a high amount of money in like a casino, they kick you out because now you're taking too much money from them. I'm thinking, I don't know if that's like one of the shit that I just heard in the movie, or if that's real. So that's why I thought they were kicking out because of that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that happens.
Oh, okay.
Like if you're winning too often, like
Yeah.
they'll try to discredit your winnings or like say like, okay, those winnings are real, but you got to get out of here.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Like, we can't chance you winning again. But yeah.
Then yeah, after she wins though.
Because I was gonna say like those other people, they have money,
Yeah.
so they've probably won way more than she has before.
Yeah, okay.
So the amount that she won is not an issue. It's more of the way that she's dressed. Yeah, this is a fine establishment. You're not gonna come in here looking
fine establishment.
like those real uppity people.
Yeah, no. But I guess now I think about it, she did just kind of like wake up. You know, and just ran there. She most likely reeks. She
hasn't even showered.
Yeah, she hasn't showered. It's sweating, running and stuff. But so I guess after that, she wins the money and they try to kick her out. She plays the one game and it's just the yell.
Oh yeah. Which like to me was like, okay, I think she has powers.
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah, okay.
Because like. One, we're doing like the biggest tell is like we keep doing this like loop back stuff, so I'm like, there's some kind of power going on here or whatever. And then two, she's able to do like the high pitched scream that like breaks everything.
Yeah.
And then now her screaming makes the ball land on the 20.
Yeah.
Like I'm like
what is going on?
She's got powers of some kind. I think.
So that confused me because I was like, is there more to this movie? Because I didn't like do research because I kind of want to go off my own thoughts. I'll definitely do some stuff afterwards, like some reading.
Yeah.
Or it's like because it's in a world that some crazy shit just happens, and how do I take this? I might just take it as it is, or this person has powers, and I was very confused by that part. Not enough to take me out of the movie, just enough to like question, like, okay, what's more to this? Like, what is there something I'm supposed to grab from all this?
I got you.
And I guess going back, I'm glad too with the loop that this was the last loop because I could see this after this one being repetitive. Like after this one, I think it would have been too much. Yeah. So they stop at the right time.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we see her. Like she asked the lady to bag up, and then all the while that this is going down, homie's been chasing after the homeless guy because he sees the homeless guy on the bike.
Manny's a fucking dumbass.
Yeah, Manny's
because I don't know if when he sees the homeless guy on the bike, he should just tackle his ass and grab his money. But he's like chasing him. He's like, hey. The homeless guy looks back and takes off.
Yeah.
Like, you fucking goofball, man.
Right, yeah. And then so...
And he chases him down and...
Yeah, he catches up with him and then he is like...
At gunpoint.
Yeah, he holds him at gunpoint and then he's like, that bag is mine. And he's like, I know.
Yeah.
And so, like, he gives him the bag and he's like... he basically says, like, what about me or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I thought this was kind of dumb.
Yeah, same.
But like he hands him the gun, and then takes off. But I was thinking like, bro, like it would be easier for him to be like, hand him the gun, like, okay, now give me the money.
Yeah, yeah. Now it's back in the hole again, Yeah, I thought that was going to happen. Either that or as he's running away, shoots him. And I was like, damn, Manny, how dumb are you, man?
Yeah.
And, but yeah, he gets the money back, he runs, and we see Lola trying to get there before 12. And so with this loop, we do see that Lola gets there, and she's just in the middle of the street. And I was just like, dude, get the fuck off the middle of the street before you get ran over.
Oh, well,
we missed something. Sorry,
yeah, we missed something. And this is one part I wanted to ask you about because I couldn't tell. Because we also see that her it was earlier she's not there for it, but her dad gets in a crash.
Oh yeah.
Because him and the bank bank guy are in the car together, and then they get in a wreck with
the big ass.
Yeah, the ones that he keeps wrecking with at the garage, and it looks like It looks like they died.
Yeah, it looks like they died. Yeah.
So yeah, and then we see the motorcyclist guy like hit the thing, and so she gets, they almost hit the glass because the second time around they go through the glass.
Yeah, the glass. Yeah, the ambulance.
And then so the third time around they almost hit the glass, but they don't go through it. The guy's carrying the glass, and she sneaks into the back.
Yeah.
I guess she was expecting it to be empty, but then there's someone there, and he kind of she kind of holds his hand, and when she does that, he starts stabilizing. So I'm like, she's got some kind of powers, bro.
It's like, what's going on?
Like, there's no way she doesn't have powers. Like, she's able to make all this stuff happen. Like, I don't know. She's got some kind of powers.
Yeah, at this point, it's like there's more supernatural elements. Yeah, than there are in the first two loops.
And do we know who that is?
No, I don't. At first, I thought it was the dad.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too.
Yeah, but I don't think so. We don't really know who that is.
So the dad died in the car crash.
Yeah, it seems like it. And actually, thank you for bringing that back up. So when that car crash happened, I thought it was a movie showing that no matter what, things are not going to change. Yeah, that's what I was interpreting. Because it's like the guy stand up getting in a car accident. Well, at this time it's fatal. So. So from there I was thinking, this is not going to be a good ending anyway. Yeah. And then when it's like everything's going better now, it's still not going to end well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and then back to the lady that she runs into like at the very beginning every time.
Yeah.
She went from like her future being like a millionaire to like going like door to door.
Oh yeah, Jehovah's Witness type thing.
Jehovah's Witness type thing. Yeah.
So how do you feel about that?
I was like, bro, that's. I mean, if you're religious or whatever, like, excuse me for saying, but like, that's kind of seems like a little bit of a downgrade. You go from like a millionaire to doing that, bro. It's like,
Jay, man, she was saved. She's happy.
Well, I mean, yeah. If that's what you believe and you think.
Do we also get a different feature for the woman in the bank?
Oh yeah, she does. Because.
She meets somebody and marries, right?
Yeah, she meets what's his face? The guy outside. No. The guy that kind of looks like the guy that plays Barry.
Barry.
On the HBO show Barry.
Oh, okay. Oh, John Heather.
Yeah. Yeah. That's yeah. He kind of looks like him.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they end up together and they have like we see that they have like the beautiful picture perfect life, and then they also have like BDSM type sex,
which is also a beautiful perfect picture perfect life.
I mean, yeah, if you're into that, bro,
like,
So it's like they've got a good healthy balance. Like they're out and about, they live their lives, and then they are both like fulfilling each other's sexual fantasies. So like just a good relationship.
Yeah,
all
honestly,
around.
That's a good relationship.
Yeah.
Everybody.
So kind of and then, so yeah, she gets dropped off in the middle of the street, like you said. Yeah, she's just in the middle of that street. I was like, you could get run over at any minute.
That guy from Texas Chainsaw Massacre
decided to show up.
Yeah, I was gonna show up. But from her point of view, she sees Manny get out the guy's car. And gives him the money, and the guy kind of pats him on the head. I was just thinking, like, in a situation like that, because there's so much anxiety for that 20 minutes, like, why even be in the syndicate, man? Like, why even be in that scenario? But I guess the money is too good.
I guess. I mean, I don't know.
The stress.
I would not join a syndicate for that reason of like, because kind of the what he was saying about him is like, this dude doesn't trust anybody.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that sounds like most people in the syndicates. And for that reason, like, I think personally, once you go to jail and you get out, like, you're dead already. Yeah. Because they're going to be like, how'd you get out so early?
That's true.
There's no way you didn't say anything about somebody, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know.
Close loose ends and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, it's not worth the risk.
That life is not for me. But, I mean, to each their own, I guess.
Man, I guess maybe the money, the risk reward, the reward is just too big.
Yeah, I guess so.
But, so we see... yeah, so she's looking, and at the time, like, they're spending looking at each other, and they're coming closer. I was like, this hobo's about to run up and murk one of these fools because of Manny's dumbass. Because I told you, after the car crash, I kind of like, no, this is not going to be a good ending. And to me, the biggest surprise was he just goes up. It's like, hey. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Nothing happened.
I was thinking more along the lines of like as he's walking towards her, like they hop out the car and like ice him.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
You get wet the fuck up.
Yeah, just wet the fuck up. Yeah. But no, they don't do that. He walks right up to her.
Because you're right. Because the hobo did use some money, so it's not like the exact amount is in there.
Yeah. I mean, like I guess he kind of smoothed that over.
Yeah.
But then he comes up to her, is like, hey, everything's cool. I got everything sorted out. And he's like, what's in the bag?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I guess they just got an extra 100K to throw around. I guess.
The perfect ending.
Yeah.
And I like the way it just kind of cuts to, just ends right there. And I wonder whether is that more of a positive ending, like they just got 100 to spend, or is that maybe trying to lead on like this might be some bullshit in the future?
I mean, it depends, because I mean, one of the obvious things that kind of went wrong in this timeline or loop or whatever you want to call it, is that her dad died.
That's true.
Although you could also look back and say, well, he was kind of an asshole.
Yeah, that's true. And that's not a real dad.
Yeah, that's not her real dad. Yeah,
really revealed.
Does that necessarily mean he deserves to die?
Yeah,
no, not really. But I mean, I think it was an ending that she was okay with.
Yeah.
Because if it was really that bad, well, I guess she didn't know about it.
Not yet. She doesn't know about it. Yeah. But she's carrying knowledge throughout each loop. I mean, she got the knowledge from the first loop that this guy doesn't really care about the family like that. So he doesn't care about her. So it's not like she's losing anybody really major. And I wonder if the movie kind of did that too on purpose. So when he does that, we don't really feel anything for him. Even though it kind of sucks for the other guy, the bank, just kind of in a bad time. Yeah. But so how do you feel about the movie overall? Like,
I thought it was a really fun movie. I didn't know what to expect. When I started watching it, because like I said, I had seen like maybe one preview, like years ago, and then just never actually sat down and watched it. So I think the vibe was great. Yes. I liked a lot of the shots, a lot of the cinematography, a lot of like the pointing back, and like when the loop restarted and like the bags flying and it goes back to the foam flying. I liked how like the tie back to her being able to like break things with her screams and stuff like that. And just watching the different interactions throughout the different loops and how those things change was very interesting. Just overall a pretty good movie, and it's got like that old timey like fast paced soundtrack. And stuff like that.
The German house music, man. Like you, I thought this movie, it was good. It was fun. I knew what to expect a little bit because I've heard about this movie from the film class, but I didn't know what to expect storyline wise. Maybe just more of the style of it. And it caught me by surprise. And I like how they were able to establish a lot of things in just an hour and like 15 or 20 minutes. And it slowed down when it needed to, but for the most part it just kept going. And even like to some of the supernatural stuff they kind of introduced, it's because they do a good job introducing it. Like, this is how I feel about supernatural stuff that Deus Ex Machina movies. It's like, if you introduce it early, I have to take it because you've basically told me this is the type of movie I'm watching. So when she's doing those yells and it's breaking stuff, I'm like, okay, you're already establishing a movie. This is some crazy shit to expect. Yeah. So it didn't take me out of it. I just thought it was a very fun movie. And I just thought like, it's weird how this is like a video game speed running movie, you know?
After you said that, I was like, dang, that kind of does seem exactly like what it is.
Yeah, you know? And it's kind of like it fits in this culture of the, speed run and video games and stuff like that. And I really liked it. I liked the fact that it just, the style and it's just taking chances. It's not doing what mainstream movies are. Not that there's anything bad with mainstream movies, but it could play around with stuff. And it seemed like, so I'm talking for too long, but it seemed like it's a movie made by like how are you? You know, you kind of like inspired director,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like they just gave an inspiring director like some money. It's
Mm-hmm.
like do what you can. Not a lot of money, but like enough. Like okay, and just
Yeah.
kind of does a project that's kind of unique.
Yeah. I mean, like, I mean, not to say that, like, you know, it doesn't take a lot of money to make a movie, but
Yeah.
I think as far as like some other budgets go, yeah, like this one kind of seemed like it was probably on the lower end.
Yeah, yeah.
But amazing that, you know, what they were able to do with not a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, overall, like,
What rating would you give it?
I there's some stuff I gotta talk about first.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Because I'm just
Okay,
like, what is going on? Where does the loop come from?
Oh,
What is
okay.
you know, like,
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's what I was going to talk to you because you seem like you remember more from the beginning. I kind of forgot about the establishing thing. I don't. This is what I'm saying. I might have to read more into it.
Mm-hmm.
But the loop and the supernatural stuff, like the fact that she's able to like have that guy heart like stabilized and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
By the third act, it's like there's more to this that I'm not getting right now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you know it's just going over my head, but it's like there's definitely more.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I can't answer that. You know, do you have any theories of why or?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because there's the conversation when she's dying in the first loop, and he tells her like you're just the best girl,
Yeah.
and she's like the best girl in the world, and he's like yeah, yeah, you're the best girl in the world.
Yeah.
And so like I was thinking maybe that had something to do with it. Like basically he's saying like, you know, like you're unique, you have these powers or what have you. Or if he's just, you know, that's what you tell your girl when you
That's basically shut the fuck up. Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, no, I didn't know. I was like, where does the loop come from? Are we watching different realities? Are we like, you know, is she able to rewind time?
When she sees fit or just in moments like these.
Yeah. And so I didn't know, but it all goes back to like, it all starts at this, like it restarts at the same place, which is the phone. But yeah, so I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I mean, somebody could explain more. You could put in the comments.
Yeah, put in the comments.
What themes that they got from this. Or their theories. Yeah, definitely create like a discussion. But yeah, I definitely can't answer.
No bots in the comment.
Oh,
I saw,
no bots.
Yeah, when we did the premiere today, there was a bot in the comments.
What did it say?
Yeah, something I can't remember. I have to look it up. But yeah, there was a bot in the comments. No bots.
Oh yeah. Hey, if it helps with the algorithm, fuck it. You know, I mean, also please, you know, like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Or we might have to, you know, keep going a loop until
somebody
somebody likes to subscribe.
We just keep reviewing this movie over and over again.
Hey, that gives us more views. So, so put this shit on a loop, man. But
do you have an overall rating?
Overall, I'll definitely give it like an 8. An 8. 8 loops out of 10. 8 speed runs. I don't know. Okay. But yeah, 8 loops out of 10 because it's a very fun movie. It's stylized and it knows when to stop with the whole thing because I feel like if they did one more, like I said earlier, one, it would be repetitive, and two, those questions you won't be able to like hide them. You know, it's like now you have to give me answers for those questions that they're asking. You know, I mean, they're like those questions that kind of popped up by the third loop. But it knew when to stop. I guess to take it, the reason it won't get a perfect score or like higher is because like the questions, I don't know if it went over my head or there's more to it that I'm just not getting, but maybe I guess they do kind of give a hint early in the movie. Maybe I would like to see a little hint of a further explanation. And I can't think of anything. That's mostly the major complaint I have. Nothing too major, but it's just 8. It's fine.
8.
How about you?
I'd probably give it. Because what did I give Incredibles? Like
8.5.
8.5. Okay. So yeah, I guess mine would be probably right on par with yours. I'd say 8 roulette wheels.
Oh, roulette wheels.
Out of 10.
Lucky
Yeah.
number 8. But well, why for that?
Oh yeah, just like I thought it was a really fun, fast-paced movie. Like a lot of good things, like a lot of good shots of the thing, and like that must have been like really hard to get. I don't know, like
oh yeah, that was swivel shot. I thought you would like.
Which
It's
one?
the one that they had a lot of cool shots. I thought you would like. There's the first loop when they were surrounded by the cops and it's kind of going in a circle.
Oh yeah,
I thought you would like that shot.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And there was another shot too. It was like in the middle of the streets when she bumps into the hobo and it shows her running. Then it kind of swivels and shows the hobo going somewhere else, and it just kind of does that in one shot. I thought that was cool too.
Oh yeah. Those are really cool shots, and it's like, I mean, like it's technique wise, it's not that hard because you just like whoop.
Yeah, but for some reason those simple techniques kind of just it kind of looks cool. You know?
Yeah, and it like adds to it. And it very much like added to the feeling of, you know, like she's running, she's got a certain amount of time to get shit done, and like, you know, we've got just enough time to like quickly glance over at the hobo and then like back to her. But yeah, no, I think it's a fast-paced movie. It's got a in my opinion, because I used to actually back when they had the PSP, and they had internet radio.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if you know, and you could like scroll through the stations. Like I would put on like German house.
Oh okay, I see.
On those stations.
Yeah, that shit slaps, man.
I think that was like the first time I heard "Sexy Bitch" was on one of those.
How's that go?
Like damn, she's a sexy.
Oh,
yeah. And then it was like,
yeah, that shit hits, man.
Yeah, and then the like announcer was like, "Sexy me."
Yeah.
He don't speak English or whatever, but he just like. It was pretty great.
Oh, that's funny, man.
But yeah, so yeah, obviously, like, you know, I'm kind of partial to German house music. I liked the soundtrack. I thought the soundtrack, like, although it's like it's dated for sure,
fun.
but yeah, it was fire. Like I like the vibe, kind of like you were saying, it's like a nostalgic vibe.
Yeah, it's so nostalgic.
Camera work is great. I thought the storyline was like really interesting. Although like you said, like the animation isn't great on the cartoon, but like I still thought that was like a really fun transition. There's a lot going on. They feel like real people. Like you know, her mom's having an affair, her dad's having an affair.
Boyfriend is dumb.
Her boyfriend's really dumb.
Yeah.
Like it's not like he's like some super smart guy that's gonna get them out of the situation. And then it's not like she's like super intelligent or anything like that. She just like she's very like goal oriented of like, how am I gonna get me and my boyfriend out of this? Well, really, I mean, like, she doesn't really have much to do with it other than like it's her boyfriend, you know what I'm saying? So it's mainly not how am I going to get me and my boyfriend out of this. It's more of like how am I going to get my boyfriend out of this? Which is nice that she cares about him that much.
She's
I guess.
A ride or die.
Yeah, she's
run or die.
She's a runner.
Yeah, run or die chick.
I thought it was fun. A lot of running.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A lot of running.
Dude, Tom Cruise should be in this movie, man.
one thing my girl pointed out is that like the actress, like, she's got cheeks.
Oh yeah,
my girl pointed that out.
Yeah.
And I was like,
did you agree?
I was like, yeah. I mean, like, I guess they're like, if you're gonna have someone running and we're gonna see them for the back a lot, like, might as well have someone that's got cheeks.
Yeah, from that running, man, she developed her glutes. From that running,
possibly.
Yeah, she has stamina for days, man.
God, bro.
Dude, I mean,
they had to have like water bottles on the set or something like that, you know, like cut.
Oh yeah, dude. If I was in that situation,
ready to go running again?
Oh yeah. If I was in that situation, my girl would be dead because I would be just, I wouldn't make it there in 20 minutes. No fucking way, man.
I would have bought that bike for the $50.
Oh yeah. Yeah, sure.
Even then, I would have been.
Yeah, just struggling on the way there.
But yeah. So like, really fun movie.
It kind of made me wish movies nowadays could be like this again. Be more like have their own style.
Yeah.
Like something.
There's the movies that are coming out today are just like so formulaic.
Yeah.
And like when I see a good one, like I'll let you know.
Yeah.
But like it's just getting to the point where they're all like cookie cutter. Here's the formula, and then here's how you make the most money on a movie.
Yeah,
basically type of thing. It's just like you lose the originality of like these original concepts where like someone's coming up with something that's like actually good.
Yeah.
And then even the ones that do have original concepts, like it's just like I don't know.
If there's any aspiring directors out there, just chase your arts, chase your dream. Just do what you want to do. It's unique. Let it stand out.
Full Tim Burton.
Yeah. Fuck it. Go full whatever you are. It's fun.
Yeah.
It stands out. That's what we need nowadays.
Just not the same cookie cutter bullshit we keep
that's
getting.
getting tiring.
It is really tiring. I think that's why we keep reviewing like older movies.
Yeah,
it's like the new stuff is like it's like where's the substance?
Yeah.
But yeah, like you, I did have some issues with like they didn't wrap up there was like no explanation of like why we were seeing the loops or like
that her powers and stuff.
Yeah, like where the powers come from, or like does she have powers or
Yeah,
what have you. So there was no clear cut, but I guess that kind of like it does tie back into the intro, because one of the things that the guy does say is that like a man is a mysterious creature, probably one of the most mysterious species ever. Like why do we do what we do, and like all this stuff. And so I guess like it kind of like it sets the tone early for like there's gonna be some things that are gonna remain a mystery throughout the movie. So because it doesn't wrap up, I'd say like that's where my rating comes from, like the 8. I thought the cinematography was great, the feel was great, the soundtrack was awesome. But yeah, I couldn't. That little bit of like not wrapping it up takes it away, but it's still a great movie.
Yeah, it's also rewatchable. That's a big thing with me with my ratings. It's like going back and rewatch it. One, it's an hour long, and two, it does so many unique things that for a first watch, to watch it again, you can maybe pick up different things here and there, and it's fun. And the music too, like you said, shit slaps, so it keeps you going.
Hell yeah!
But I guess that wraps it up for this episode. And like we said earlier, please like and subscribe, share. Kind of help us out with the viewership. Still figuring things out, but that is it for this week. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
See you.